welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn, and if you are new here, I post Disney videos and lifestyle kind of content here on my channel. So if you're a returning subscriber, hello and welcome back. And if you're a new subscriber, then if you would love to, or if you'd like to, you can subscribe and support my channel. Recently I've been doing a lot more lifestyle videos because of the situation that we've been in. So today I'm going to be doing a cooking video. So I'm going to do a baking. I'm baking. We're doing a bake with me video. So I am going to be making one of my all-time favorite recipes from the Joanna Gaines Magnolia Table cookbook. And this, if you haven't already guessed it, is going to be the chocolate chip cookie recipe that I rave about, basically. I think I talked about this in many videos. So that is the recipe that I'm going to be making today. I will make sure to leave the recipe down below if you want to try it out, as well as obviously I'll tell you all the measurements and everything that I'm using as I am making these cookies. I've made these cookies multiple times, and they are truly my favorite. They're like just the perfect amount of like crunchy on the outside and like chewy and gooey on the inside, and I love them so much. So that is what I am making today. So if you're interested in watching, then just keep on watching. So the first thing that we have to do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna go do that now. And then it also says to line the baking sheet with parchment paper. Truly, I never do this. I honestly just use a regular baking sheet, and every time it works out fine. But you obviously can line your sheet with parchment paper or do a quick little grease of butter. It says in a medium bowl, whisk together flour, baking soda, and salt, and then set it aside. So I'm gonna grab a bowl. So we're gonna add 2.5 cups of flour to the bowl. And then it calls for 1 heaping teaspoon of baking soda. And then it says half a teaspoon of salt. So typically I just eyeball it, but I always add less salt than what it says, just because I find that sometimes I just taste too much of the salt in my cookies. And then you're just gonna take a whisk and whisk together all the dry ingredients. So once you whisk those together, you're just gonna set it aside. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna mix together the 1 stick of butter, or it's half a cup of butter, and you mix that with the brown sugar, which is 2 cups of packed brown sugar. And you want to beat that either in a stand mixer, or if you don't have a stand mixer, you can always use a handheld mixer in a bowl. And it says on there 2 to 3 minutes, but I think I do mine even longer than that, because I just find like they turn out the best when you get the butter really fluffy. So it also calls for the butter to be room temperature. I forgot to take it out last night, so it is a little bit cold still. So I'm just gonna chop up mine into chunks before I add it to the bowl. And truly, I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but I just find if you don't have like actual like room temperature butter, I just find it helps the mixer with being able to mix. So there's the butter and 2 cups of packed brown sugar. And it's important that you make sure that it's really packed, because brown sugar, there's a big difference between regular brown sugar, or like just like a scoop of brown sugar, like packed brown sugar. Okay, so I have my brown sugar and my butter, and I'm just going to lock that in. Sorry, the dogs. Okay, so I'm gonna put those in, and then I'm going to lock in my stand mixer so it doesn't come up. And I'm just going to put it on a low setting for now, just until it kind of gets going. And then I'll put it on a high setting once it's a little bit more combined. So this is essentially the texture that you're going for. It's kind of like a really, really loose cookie batter, almost already. So that's kind of what the texture is that you want. You want to make sure that there is no butter showing and that there's no like fine granules of sugar. So I'm just going to turn this on low. So now that it's on low, I'm going to add in my 2 large eggs. One. Oh shoot, eggshells. No! Oh gosh, eggshell, eggshell. Stop. I can't believe I just did. Wow, I have never done that before. Okay, I have a massive amount of eggshells in here. No, no thank you, sir. Oh my gosh, okay. We're committing, we're just gonna fish these out. Wow, I have never done that before. Nice. Like I literally just chopped an entire half of an egg. I can't believe I did that. Oh no. I think I got them all. Oh, wait, I see one. Okay, I'm just gonna dump that in there. That egg in there too. Okay, so mix in the 2 eggs. Dang, I really hope there's not a lot of eggshells. Oh, I just saw a big one. Okay, keep going. Okay, and as you mix, you want to make sure that you're scraping down the sides, because if you have a stand mixer, you definitely will find this, that the edges will not get touched. So you just want to scrape in the sides. Okay, and it's important to mix enough but not overmix. I feel like that's like the thing with baking. So now it's going to be like a really fluffy batter mixture. And now what you want to do is when the mixer is off, you just want to slowly incorporate flour. And I do about half and half, so that way it doesn't like fly up everywhere. So I'll just turn it on low, let it mix in a little bit, and then I'll add the rest. And now the batter's gonna get really thick and chunky. And if the flour is flying everywhere, just throw a dishcloth over top and it will keep everything in and contained. So I'm just going to take my spatula again and just scrape down the sides. And it calls for 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. I don't really measure my vanilla, I just kind of add it in as I see needed. Okay, so now it should, be fairly mixed together, clumpy. You should be able to form it into a ball with your hands and it shouldn't crumble apart. Now what I like to do is add in the chocolate chips. So in the recipe it calls for 1.5 cups of chocolate chips, but it says you can either add or subtract half a cup depending on how you feel. I always add in an extra half cup. So technically I do 2 full cups of chocolate chips, but you do not have to. We just like our, we just like our cookies like extra chocolatey. And then I just mix it in by hand with this, just because I find it's easier. So once it's fairly mixed in, I'm just gonna wash my hands again real quick, and then I'm just gonna mix it with my hands the last little while. And then just mix it together. Now what I'm gonna do is kind of push everything aside and grab my baking sheet. So in the recipe, it just says to drop large spoonfuls onto the pan, but I just grab, like I kind of just eyeball it. I'll take enough batter that I kind of roll it in my hand and then do a little bit of a like pushing down motion so that it makes a little bit of a cookie. And it's about the size of my palm. And the cookies don't really spread. I find that they just kind of get a little bit bigger this way and then bigger like up. So you don't have to worry about them like going into each other. So I put my cookies like fairly close together. So now that you have your cookies all lined up on your sheet, you're just gonna put it in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. And yeah, oh my gosh, I just spotted a massive eggshell. We're gonna take the cookies and put them in the oven. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for those to be done. I'm gonna clean up a little bit here and then I will be back once they are out of the oven. So here are the finished cookies. They are nice and crunchy on the outside, but still like gooey on the inside. Let's see if I can, oh. But yeah, that is my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!